Lesson 2, Part 1. Adding integers, the models. We're going to go over the adding integer models in this video. Okay, in this lesson, we will be able to add integers by hand, model integer addition in various ways, and model and solve situation problem and interpret the solutions in context. So first, a little bit of vocabulary. Number line, it's a horizontal or vertical listing of numbers on a line in order from least to greatest. Here's a picture of one. A number line must have numbers listed in order from least to greatest and equally spaced markings. Okay, the other word is sum. A sum is the result of an addition problem. And over here, for example, 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 is the sum, being that it is the answer. 5 and 3 are terms. Well, it's got the word addend here, but that's more elementary school vocabulary for it. Towards high school, they're going to just be calling them terms. And we'll even be calling them terms this year, things that are added together. Okay, one possible way to model addition of integers is to use the number line model. In the number line model, positive integers are represented as arrows pointing to the right. Negative integers point to the left. When two numbers are added, you combine their arrows together by placing one arrow on the number line first, and the second arrow is placed when the first arrow ended. The sum is the location at the end of the second arrow. So 2 plus 5, we would start by putting 2 on the number line. It goes from 0 to 2. It's just an arrow. And then at the end where 2 ended, we will add 5. And we'll draw an arrow of length 5. This gives us the answer of 7. 5 plus negative 7 can be done the same way. We start with the 5, which is an arrow drawn from 0 to 5. Then we're going to want to do an arrow, this time in the negative direction, 7 units. And it ends up at negative 2 for the answer. Okay, negative 4 plus 2. We start with a negative 4, which is an arrow to the left 4. And then we're going to go to the right 2 from the end of that. And it looks like we end at negative 2. So our answer is negative 2. Next, negative 3 plus negative 4. We start with the negative 3, which is an arrow from 0 to negative 3, 3 units long. And then negative 4 is going to be 4 units again in the negative direction, giving us an answer of negative 7. That is the number line model. The counter model. In the counter model, positive integers use one type of counter and negative use another type of counter. Pairs of opposite counters form zero pairs and can be eliminated. Often green and red counters are used. However, we can use the circle plus for positive and the circle minus for negative. Okay, this first one's already done. You can see that 2 positives and 5 positives make 7, and it's positive. Next example is drawn out. We have 5 plus negative 7. Now 5 positives and 7 negatives. There's more negatives, but as we get rid of the zero pairs, you'll see we have 2 negatives left over, giving us an answer of negative 2. For the next example, I'm going to drag the counters on. We have negative 4, which would be 4 negatives. Let's just get those up there. And 2 positives. And we do have some zero pairs to get rid of. When we get rid of those, we have left 2, and they are negative, so negative 2 is the answer. Next example, negative 3 and negative 4. So there's my negative 3, and I'm going to add to that negative 4. Now negative 3 plus negative 4, since they're all negatives, you don't get rid of anything, and you just get negative 7 as your answer. Okay, the third model, and probably the most used one because you can do it in your head, is the who wins model. It's a quick way to visualize adding integers. The who wins model uses the concept of a competition between opposing forces. The positive team fights the negative team, and zero pairs create casualties. The rules are, if they're the same sign, there's no loser. You add the magnitude of the numbers and keep the same sign. If they are not the same sign, the bigger magnitude wins. You subtract them, big number minus small number, and keep the sign of the big number. So in the first example, 2 plus 5, They are on the same team, so we just add them together and we get 7, and they were on the positive team, so it's positive 7. Next example, 5 plus negative 7. They are different signs. 5 is positive, 7 is negative. The bigger number wins, so the winner is the negative. You need to take the two numbers and subtract, so 7 minus 5 is 2, giving me an answer of negative 2. The negatives win, and they win by 2. Okay, next example. Negative 4 plus 2. That's a negative and a positive. So we have to, they're different signs. We're going to have to subtract. By the way, the winner is negative because 4 is bigger than 2. So we'll do 4 minus 2. And that gives us 2. Since negative is 1, that's negative 2. Okay, next example. Negative 3 plus negative 4. In this case, they are both on the negative team, so there are no losers. We just add them together. 3 and 4 make 7, and they are on the negative team, so the answer is negative 7. Okay, those are examples of the addition models.